Horrid Henry and the Buggy Babysitter by Francisca Seaman. Chapter 1. No way, shrieked Tatchy Tess, slamming down the phone. No way, shrieked Krabby Chris, slamming down the phone. No way, shrieked angry Anna. What do you think I am, crazy? Even Mellow Martin said he was busy. Mom hung up the phone and groaned. It wasn't easy finding someone to babysit more than once for Horrid Henry. When Tatchy Tess came, Henry flooded the bathroom. When Krabby Chris came, he hid her homework and accidentally poured red grape juice down the front of her new white jeans. And when angry Anna came, Henry, no, it's too dreadful. Suffice it to say that Anna ran screaming from the house and Henry's parents had to come home early. Horrid Henry hated babysitters. He wasn't a baby. He didn't want to be set on. Why should he be nice to some ugly, stuck-up, bossy teenager who'd hug the TV and pick out on Henry's biscuits? Parents should just stay at home where they belong, thought Horrid Henry. And now it looked like they would have to. Ha! His parents were mean and horrible, but he'd had a lot of practice managing them. Babysitters were unpredictable. Babysitters were hard work, and by the time you'd broken them in and shown them who was boss, for some reason they didn't want to come anymore. The only good babysitters let you stay up all night and eat sweets until you were sick. Sadly, Horrid Henry never got one of those. Chapter 2. We have to find a babysitter, wailed Mom. The party is tomorrow night. I've tried everyone. Who else is there? There's got to be someone, said Dad. Think. Mom thought. Dad thought. What about Rebecca? Said Dad. Horrid Henry's heart missed a bit. He stopped drawing mustaches on Perfect Peter's school pictures. Maybe he'd heard wrong. Oh, please, not Rebecca. Not Rabbit Rebecca. Who did you say? Asked Henry. His voice quivered. You heard me, said Dad. Rebecca. No, screamed Henry. She's horrible. She's not horrible, said Dad. She's just strict. There's no one else, said Mom grimly. I'll phone Rebecca. She's a monster, wailed Henry. She made Ralph go to bed at 6 o'clock. I like going to bed at 6 o'clock, said Perfect Peter. After all, growing children need their rest. Horrid Henry growled and attacked. He was the creature from the Black Lagoon, dragging the foolish mortal down to a watery grave. Aye, squealed Peter. Henry pulled my hair. Stop being horrid, Henry, said Dad. Mom's on the phone. Henry prayed. Maybe she'd be busy. Maybe she'd say no. Maybe she'd be dead. He'd heard all about Rebecca. She'd made tough Toby get in his pajamas at 5 o'clock and do all his homework. She'd unplugged Dizzy Dave's computer. She'd made Moody Margaret wash the floor. No doubt about it. Rabbit Rebecca was the toughest teen in town. Henry lay under the rug and howled. Mom shouted into the phone. You can. That's great, Rebecca. No, that's just the TV. Sorry for the noise. See you tomorrow. No, wailed Henry. Chapter 3. Ding dong. I'll get it, said Perfect Peter. He skipped to the door. Henry flung himself on the carpet. I don't want to have a babysitter, he wailed. The door opened. In walked the biggest, meanest, ugliest, nastiest looking girl Henry had ever seen. Her arms were enormous, her head was enormous, her teeth were enormous. She looked like she ate elephants for breakfast, crocodiles for lunch, and snaked on toddlers for tea. What have you got to eat? Snarled Rabbit Rebecca. Dad took a step back. Help yourself to anything in the fridge, said Dad. Don't worry, I will, said Rebecca. Go home, you witch, howled Henry. Bedtime is 9 o'clock, shouted Dad, trying to be heard above Henry's screams. He edged his way carefully past Rebecca, jumped over Henry, then dashed out the front door. I don't want to have a babysitter, shrieked Henry. Be good, Henry, said Mom weakly. She stepped over Henry, then escaped from the house. The door closed. Horrid Henry was alone in the house with Rabbit Rebecca. He glared at Rebecca. Rebecca glared at him. I've heard all about you, you little creep, growled Rebecca. No one bothers me when I'm babysitting. No one bothers me when I'm babysitting. Horrid Henry stopped screaming. Oh yeah, said Horrid Henry. We'll see about that. Rabbit Rebecca bared her fangs. Henry recoiled. Perhaps I'd keep out of her way, he thought, then zipped into the sitting room and turned on the tally. Chapter 4. Ah, Mutant Max. Hurry. How bad could life be when a brilliant programming like Mutant Max was on? He'd annoy Rebecca as soon as it was over. Rebecca stomped into the room and snatched the clicker. Zap. Da-do-da-do-da-da-do-da-do-da. Tangoed some horrible spangly dancers. Hey, said Henry, I'm watching Mutant Max. Tough, said. Though, said Rebecca, I'm watching ballroom dancing. Snatch. Horrid Henry grabbed the clicker. Zap. And it's mutants, snatch. Zap. Da-do-da-do-da-da-do-do-da-do-da. Do-da-do-da-da-do-da-do-da. Horrid Henry tangled around the room, gliding and sliding. Stop it, muttered Rebecca. Henry shimmied back and forth in front of the tally, blocking her view and singing along as loudly as he could. Da-do-da-do-da, warbled Henry. I'm warning you, hissed Rebecca. Perfect Peter walked in. He had already put on his blue bunny pajamas, brushed his teeth, and combed his hair. He held a game of Chinese checkers in his hand. Rebecca, will you play a game with me before I go to bed? Asked Peter. No, roared Rebecca. I'm trying to watch TV. Shut up and go away. Perfect Peter leaped back. But I thought, since I was all ready for bed, he stammered. I've got better things to do than to play with you, snarled Rebecca. Now go to bed this minute, both of you. But it's not my bedtime for hours, protested Henry. I want to watch Mutant Max. Nor mine, said Perfect Peter timidly. There's this nature programming. Go, howled Rebecca. No, howled Henry. Rah, rolled Rebecca. Chapter 5. Horrid Henry did not know how it happened. It was as if fiery dragons breathed and had blasted him upstairs. Somehow he was in his pajamas in bed and it was only 7 o'clock. Rabbit Rebecca switched off the light. Don't even think of moving from that bed, she hissed. If I see you or hear you or even smell you, you'll be sorry you were born. I'll stay downstairs, you stay upstairs, and that way no one will get hurt." Then she marched out of the room and slammed the door. Horrid Henry was so shocked he could not move. He, Horrid Henry, the bulldozer of babysitters, the terror of teachers, the bully of brothers, was in bed, lights out at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, 2 whole hours before his bedtime. This was an outrage. He could hear Moody Margaret's shrieking next door. He could hear toddler Tom zooming about on his tricycle. No one went to bed at 7 o'clock, not even toddlers. Worst of all, he was thirsty. So what if she told me to stay in bed, thought Horrid Henry. I'm thirsty. I'm going to go downstairs and get myself a glass of water. It's my house and I'll do what I want. Horrid Henry did not move. I'm dying of thirst here, thought Henry. Mom and Dad will come home and I'll be a dried out old stick insect, and boy will she be in trouble. Horrid Henry still did not move. Go on, feet, argued Henry. Let's just step on down and get a little old glass of water. So what if that buggy babysitter said he had to stay in bed? What could she do to him? She could drop off my head and bounce it down the stairs, thought Henry. Eek. Well, let her try. Horrid Henry remembered who he was, the boy who'd sent teachers shrieking from the classroom, the boy who'd destroyed the demon dinner lady, the boy who had run away from home and almost reached the Congo. I will get up and get a drink of water, he thought. Chapter 6. Snick, snick, snick. Horrid Henry crept to the bedroom door. Slowly he opened it a crack. Creak. Then slowly he opened the door a bit more and slipped out. Arg! There was Rabbit Rebecca sitting at the top of the stairs. It's a trap, thought Henry. She was lying in wait for me. I'm dead. I'm finished. They'll find my bones in the morning. Horrid Henry dashed back inside his room and awaited his doom. Silence. What was going on? Why hadn't Rebecca torn him apart limb from limb? Horrid Henry opened his door a fraction and peeped out. Rebecca was still sitting huddled at the top of the stairs. She did not move. Her eyes were fixed straight ahead. Spy, spy, spider, she whispered. She pointed at a big, hairy spider in front of her with a trembling hand. It's huge, said Henry. Really hairy and horrible and wriggly and... Stop, squealed Rebecca. Help me, Henry, she begged. Horrid Henry was not the fearless leader of a pirate gang for nothing. If I risk my life and get rid of the spider, can I watch Mutant Max? Said Henry. Yes, said Rebecca, and stay up till my parents come home. Yes, said Rebecca, and eat all the ice cream in the fridge. Yes, shrieked Rebecca. Just get rid of that. Deal, said Horrid Henry. He dashed to his room and grabbed a jar. Rabbit Rebecca hid her eyes as Horrid Henry scooped up the spider. What a beauty! It's gone, said Henry. Rebecca opened her beady red eyes. Right back to bed, you little brat. What? Said Henry. Bed, now, screeched Rebecca. But we agreed, said Henry. Though, tough, said Rebecca. That was then. Traitor, said Henry. He whipped out the spider jar from behind his back and unscrewed a lid. On guard, he said. Aye, whimpered Rebecca. Horrid Henry advanced menacingly towards her. No, wailed Rebecca, stepping back. Now get in that room and stay there, ordered Henry, or else. Rabbit Rebecca skedaddled into the bathroom and locked the door. If I see you or hear you or even smell you, you'll be sorry you were born, said Henry. I already am, said Rebecca. Chapter 7. Horrid Henry spent a lovely evening in front of the telly. He watched scary movies. He ate ice cream and sweets and biscuits and crisps until he could stuff no more in. Vroom, vroom. Oops, parents home. Horrid Henry dashed upstairs and leaped into bed just as the front door opened. Mom and Dad looked around the sitting room, littered with sweet wrappers, biscuits, crumbs, and ice cream cartons. You did tell her to help herself, said Mom. Still, said Dad, what a pig. Never mind, said Mom brightly. At least she managed to get Henry to bed. That's a first. Rebecca staggered into the room. Did you get enough to eat? Said Dad. No, said Rebecca. Oh, said Dad. Was everything all right? Asked Mom. Rebecca looked at her. Can I go now? Said Rebecca. Any chance you could babysit on Saturday? Asked Dad hopefully. What do you think I am, crazy? Shrieked Rebecca. Slam! Upstairs, Horrid Henry groaned. Just when he had a babysitter beautifully trained, for some reason they wouldn't come back. The end.